Learning never exhausts the mind. On the contrary, the more you learn, the more you realize how much remains to be discovered. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci, the infinite genius. Leonardo da Vinci, a genius whose name is intertwined with the Renaissance and the grandeur of humanity, was born on April 15, 1452, in the small village of Vinci near Florence. He was the illegitimate son of Piero da Vinci, a wealthy notary, and Caterina, a humble village woman. This combination of different social classes perhaps laid the foundation for a curious mind that knew no boundaries. Leonardo's childhood was spent amidst the stunning landscapes of Tuscany. From an early age, he displayed a deep interest in nature and a meticulous eye for detail. From the movement of water in rivers to the structure of birds' wings, everything became a subject for his exploration and contemplation. This innate passion for observation and analysis shaped the foundations of his future genius. The beginning of his artistic journey. In his early youth, his family recognized his extraordinary talent in painting. His father sent him to the workshop of Andrea del Verrocchio, one of Florence's greatest artists. There, Leonardo not only learned painting but also sculpture, engineering, and mechanical design. It is said that in one of Verrocchio's works, an angel painted by Leonardo was so exquisite that the master decided never to paint again. Timeless art. Leonardo da Vinci is best known as a painter. His works exemplify the fusion of art and science. Two of his masterpieces, Mona Lisa and The Last Supper, showcase his unparalleled skill in capturing human emotions and his innovative approach to composition. The Mona Lisa, with her enigmatic smile, is more than just a painting. She is a mystery that invites contemplation. Leonardo spent years perfecting this work, employing a technique called sfumato, in which the boundaries between colors are blurred, giving the portrait a lifelike quality. The Last Supper is a masterpiece depicting a biblical scene. This work reflects Leonardo's deep understanding of psychology and architecture. Each character in the painting tells a story through body language and expressions. A genius in science and engineering. But Leonardo was more than just a painter. He had an inquisitive mind that explored various fields of science and technology. He delved into anatomy, cartography, engineering, and even music. In anatomy, Leonardo made discoveries that were centuries ahead of his time. Through human and animal dissections, he created highly detailed drawings of muscles, bones, and internal organs. These sketches were not only artistic masterpieces but also invaluable scientific resources. His anatomical studies and predictions about human physiology were groundbreaking. Despite the religious and cultural taboos of his era, Leonardo courageously examined the human body to understand its mechanics. Over his lifetime, he conducted more than 30 dissections, producing the most precise anatomical drawings of his time. His illustrations of the brain, heart, blood vessels, and nervous system were revolutionary. Leonardo was among the first to understand the circulation of blood and the functioning of the heart. He theorized that blood moved through a closed system of veins and arteries, a concept that was scientifically validated centuries later. Unfortunately, many of his notes and sketches were lost or remained unknown for centuries, but when rediscovered, they significantly influenced modern medical understanding. Visionary predictions and inventions. One of the most fascinating aspects of Leonardo's life was his ability to foresee future scientific developments. His notebooks contain designs for inventions that were not feasible in his time, but later became reality. One of his most famous predictions was the design of flying machines, including an early concept of a helicopter. His sketches featured a device called the aerial screw, resembling modern helicopters. He also envisioned a glider-like flying machine powered by human effort. Although these inventions were not realized in his lifetime, they inspired engineers and inventors centuries later. Leonardo also designed military machines that resembled modern tanks. His sketches depicted armored vehicles with rotating wheels, intended to protect soldiers on the battlefield. These ideas, though impractical at the time, foreshadowed the mechanization of warfare. Another futuristic invention was his concept of robotic machines. He designed an automaton known as the robot knight, which could move and perform human-like gestures. While these ideas were not realized in his time, they laid the groundwork for modern robotics. His understanding of physics and engineering was remarkably advanced. He theorized that the Earth operated as a complex, self-regulating system, an idea that anticipated modern ecological and environmental sciences. Leonardo's anatomical studies and visionary inventions illustrate his unique ability to comprehend the world around him. He was not only an artist but also a pioneering scientist and inventor. His medical discoveries and engineering designs proved that his intellect was not confined by time or place. A life dedicated to curiosity and creativity. Leonardo was a man who dedicated his life to curiosity and creativity. He never married and had no children. His life was filled with travel and exploration. Friends described him as generous, sociable, and deeply contemplative. Yet, he was also an introspective individual who spent much of his time in solitude, immersed in thought. In engineering, his designs for helicopters, tanks, and suspension bridges demonstrated a mind that transcended the limitations of his era. While many of these inventions were impractical at the time, they later served as inspiration for modern innovations. His final years and everlasting legacy. In 1516, King Francis I of France invited Leonardo to his court. He spent his final years in a chateau near Amboise. On May 2, 1519, at the age of 67, he passed away. Leonardo da Vinci's legacy endures not only in his timeless paintings but also in his notebooks filled with scientific and engineering ideas. These writings remain a treasure trove of knowledge and inspiration for humanity. Leonardo da Vinci was the ultimate embodiment of human creativity, discovery, and innovation. He shattered the boundaries between art and science, proving that curiosity and imagination have the power to transform the world. He remains a true symbol of human genius, a genius that never ceases to explore. Leonardo da Vinci was a genius whose knowledge and creativity in various fields, from painting and sculpture to engineering, anatomy, and astronomy, were far ahead of his time. However, this does not mean that his knowledge was extraterrestrial. Da Vinci was able to develop advanced ideas by relying on precise observations of nature, practical experiments, and studying the scientific sources of his time. He was inspired by Pythagoras, Archimedes, and Islamic scholars, and through scientific methods, he left behind notes and designs that became a reality centuries later. The reason some people believe his knowledge came from an otherworldly or extraterrestrial source is that he was far ahead of his era. However, the truth is that his brilliance and relentless effort were what enabled him to achieve such remarkable insights. Leonardo da Vinci's genius was the result of precise observation, deep thinking, continuous experimentation, and studying previous sources, not the intervention of an extraterrestrial force. There are several reasons for this. Scientific and experimental method. Unlike many people of his time, Da Vinci did not rely solely on assumptions. He conducted experiments, took notes, and repeatedly analyzed his observations. Studying the works of predecessors, he was greatly influenced by Greek, Roman, and Islamic scholars. Many of his designs, such as the flying machine, were inspired by nature and the mechanical principles known at the time. Analytical genius. Da Vinci had an extraordinary ability to combine different fields of science. He was not just a painter but also an engineer, physician, anatomist, and inventor. This multidisciplinary perspective allowed him to understand things that his contemporaries could not. His predictions were based on logic and analysis. He studied the flight of birds to develop ideas for flying machines. By observing human muscles, he designed early robotic mechanisms. All of this was based on knowledge, not a supernatural force. Knowledge is born from experience. This is a quote that Leonardo himself said, and his life, in the best way, embodies it. If you liked this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel.